everyone and welcome to my channel. First of all, I want to apologize because I know I haven't uploaded a video in a few months now, but yet I still managed to reach 5,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for those of you that have subscribed, watched, liked, and shared my videos. I truly appreciate it. And don't worry, I'll be bringing plenty of creative, fun cake tutorials for you guys, as well as many other baked goods. Without further ado, I'm going to show you guys how to make this beautiful gift box cake. It's so feminine, topped with a beautiful chic bow, perfume, makeup, and jewelry. What more can a girl want?
To get started, I have some red velvet cake batter, which I'm pouring into a greased and lined 8x8-inch square cake pan. I bake 2 red velvet cakes at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. Once my cakes are completely cooled, I trim off that dome top so that they're completely flat on top. I drizzle them with simple syrup to keep them nice and moist, and I let them soak up the goodness. Here I have an 8x8-inch cake board, which I'm going to place one of my cakes on top of. Then I fill the cake with buttercream. I add the second cake layer on top. I refrigerated this and trimmed the sides off to have more even edges, and now I'm going to begin crumb coating. When I finish crumb coating, I let the cake refrigerate, give it a second coat of buttercream, and let it refrigerate once again. What I have here is a slab of pink fondant which I've rolled out, and a template that I've made myself of the sides of the cake, and it measures 3 inches length by 8 inches width. I'm going to cut out 4 of these rectangles to cover the 4 sides of our cake. Now I'm going to add the fondant rectangles onto each side of the cake, using my fondant smoother to help smooth the fondant onto the cake. And if there's any excess, I'm going to trim it off with some food-safe scissors. I repeat this for all the sides, connecting the seams on each corner. Using that same pink fondant, I made another rectangle. This time it's 8 inches width by 4 inches length. And I'm going to divide this into 1-inch strips so that I have 4 strips. And these 4 strips are going to cover the top sides of the cake to make it look as if the box has a lid. I'm brushing the upper part of the box cake with a little bit of water to help these fondant strips stick to the cake and the fondant. Now it's time to cover the top of the cake, but before I cover the top of the cake, I'm going to add a tiny little cake board in the center because I want to add a few objects on top of the cake and I don't want them to weigh down on the cake. So that little cake board is going to protect anything from sinking down onto the cake. I press gently on the cake board, cover it with buttercream, then I add a thin layer of fondant before adding the lid fondant on top of the cake. Here I have a 9x9-inch square, which is going to be the lid of the cake. So I just brushed the top of the cake with a little bit of water, and I'm going to place this right on top. I'm going to connect the seams of the cake to that top lid part that we made to make it look nice and uniform. Here I'm going to show you guys a quick little hack on how to make a rose. So I made the little teardrop shape for the bud. I'm using a small heart-shaped cutter, and I'm going to cut a few of these. These are going to be the rose petals. I'm going to show you how. You're going to turn the heart upside down, brush the heart with a little bit of water, and start placing these in a petal form around the rose bud. And voila, you have a nice simple rose. And another little hack is how to make your own cake board. Here I made a custom cake board by just covering a regular square cake board with some beautiful gift wrap paper. And I'm just adding tape onto the cake board because the cake that I am going to place on here already has a cake board under it. So the cake board under the cake is going to stick onto this cake board and your cake won't slide or move around. Here I have some white fondant which I've rolled out pretty thin, and I'm using an icing smoother to help make some nice straight lines because I'm going to create some small strips to place around the cake. I'm placing the strips on each side of the cake by adding 2 in the corners, 1 in the middle, and 2 in between. Then I create some thinner strips using black fondant and place those on either side of the white strips. Now I want to add a little bit of sheen to the cake, so I'm going to grab some gold color mist spray and lightly spray this around the pink parts of the cake. And I add the rose that we made earlier, which I've also sprayed with a little bit of gold mist spray, onto the bottom corner of the cake. I'm going to make this beautiful chic bow on top of the cake, and to make this I have some white fondant, and I'm going to use this fondant strip cutter to cut some white strips. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing using black fondant to cut some black strips. Then I'm going to stick my black and white strips together alternating, making sure to squeeze them together tightly. Then I grab my small rolling pin and I press down very well to combine the fondant. When I flip this over, I'm left with a beautiful seamless striped pattern fondant, which I'm going to turn into a bow by pinching the ends, cutting it in half, and grabbing the both pinched ends and folding them together in the center. And that's going to be one side of the bow. Then I do that to the other one, that's going to be the other side of the bow, and I connect these and make a beautiful bow. Then I add black fondant in the center to cover the seam of the bow. I add this in the top center part of the cake, and then I add the ribbons to literally tie everything together. Using some black and white fondant, I'm going to create a price tag. I'm going to create a smaller white rectangle inside of the black rectangle, going to pierce a hole through the center, and I'm going to slide a rope through the hole. And I'm placing this price tag at the top of the cake right next to the bow. To accessorize the cake a little more, here I have a makeup mold, and this mold comes with a perfume bottle, a mascara, lipstick, compact brush, and eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the perfume bottle and the lipstick mold, and I'm doing this in fondant. So all I do is just add the fondant onto the mold, press in with my rolling pin, let it sit for a little while, and pop it right out. So I made the perfume bottle and the lipsticks, and I'm going to pop this right out. Just cut the molds in half, and then using either some melted chocolate or some water, glue them together and let them set. Now for my perfume bottle, for the bottom part at least, I want to make that gold. So I'm going to use a bit of gold color mist spray, and I'm going to spray just the bottom of both sides of the perfume bottle. Once my makeup accessories has set, I'm going to place these onto the cake. I was going to place these on top of the cake, but I think that they would look much better on the bottom of the cake. Okay, so I was not happy with that rose, the way it turned out after I sprayed it with the color mist spray. So I remade some more roses, exactly how I showed you guys. I remade 2 pink roses, I left them plain pink, and then I made 1 white rose and 2 smaller black roses. And I think this just ties the cake together so much better. It looks way better than it did before. So now I'm officially going to glue the makeup and perfume onto the cake. So I'm just adding a little bit of melted white chocolate onto the bottom so that it sticks to the cake board, and also a little bit behind the perfume bottle so that it sticks to the cake. I made 1 extra lipstick. I have one that's going to be standing up and one that's going to be lying down. And to finish the cake off, it needs a little bit of jewelry. So I'm using here a pearl border silicone mat, and I'm adding some fondant onto there, just pressing to create that little pearl border effect. And then I'm going to pop this out. I'm going to create 3 of these and spray them with gold color mist spray so that they look like gold pearl necklace. Then I'm going to place this draping around the top part of the cake behind and under the bow. And this absolutely stunning gift box cake is complete. The pink color and the roses on this cake give it a feminine touch. The bow and the pinstripes give it a chic touch. And the perfume bottle, makeup, and jewelry give it a nice glamorous touch, making this the most stunning gift box cake ever.
Thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up down there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.